Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are feeling good. My name is Bukunmi Bike-Crown. How Society Lies to Women by Jordan Peterson. So let's watch, guys.
You see the ONS data that came out a couple of weeks ago that said for the first time ever since records began, 50.1% of women are childless by 30. So there are more women without children at 30 than there are women with children. The first time ever.
Well, so this is somebody clipped a part of one of my podcasts, I believe it was, where I was talking about what our society does to 19-year-old women or 18-year-old women, 19-year-old women. We just lie to them all the time. You know, the first lie is there's nothing more important than your career, more or less by definition. So that's the first lie. The second lie is there will be nothing more important to you in your life than your career. And so that's the second lie. And then the third lie is there should be nothing more important in your life than your career. So that's the third lie. And then implicit in that is the idea that children are a burden, and that the idea that women should have children is part of the oppressive patriarchy and should be resisted. And who are men to tell me what I can do with my body? And hey, fair enough, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, I've worked in female-dominated occupations my entire life. For example, I worked as a daycare worker way back when, that was like 1980, something like that. And there were no men doing that, but I really liked kids, and so that was fun. And I worked for social services in Alberta in the child care department, and then I've been working as a psychologist, either training or as a psychologist since then, and that's been a female-dominated enterprise increasingly as the years went by, but even when I first entered it. So I'm in the post-female in the workplace generation firmly. I never experienced the world except as that, and so I've watched women progress through their professional careers at every level of attainment, from the lowest to the highest, and observed what happened, and relatively, I would say, bias-free, because I didn't know. And what I've seen is that as women progress towards their late 20s, there's a psychological transformation, and what happens is that they place less emphasis on their career and way more emphasis, particularly on having a child. And that really reaches a crisis point around 29 or 30 for the vast majority of women, and their attitude flips. And I've seen it flip very dramatically with many women. And I suppose the most most convincing evidence of that, I worked with high-end lawyers in Toronto for about 10 years. I was part of an organization. We went to law firms, high-end law firms, and said, send us your most productive people, and we'll help them iron out whatever wrinkles there might still be in their life. And the advantage to them is that things will go better for them, and the advantage to you is they'll be even more productive. And there's a good management dictum, which is pay the most attention to your most productive people, because they're bringing in the bulk of your revenue disproportionately. And so I worked with men and women who were at the peak of their careers in a very difficult enterprise. And so these were women who were generally very attractive, well put together physically, pretty stable psychologically, extremely conscientious, very, very smart, and high achieving from like junior high all the way through high school, university, law school, onto the top firms, rocketing up through the ranks, full partnership by the time they were 29 or 30. And all the law firms, all the women bailed out, all of them. The law firms couldn't keep them. And I was really, and I talked to the women a lot about this, because I was very interested in it, because I knew the law firms were bending themselves over backwards and tying themselves into knots trying to retain these women, because why wouldn't they? You know, just being greedy capitalists is enough. You know, they don't want to lose their high-performing women because they're performing at the highest level, and they couldn't keep them. The women wanted to have 9-to-5 jobs. They wanted to bind the job so they could have a life, and that was especially true once they got interested in having a child or had one. And what they really came to was a very interesting realization. So because they were highly conscientious women, they sort of did their duty and worked hard and diligently and didn't pop their head up to ask questions. They were in junior high, they got the best grades. They were in high school, they got the best grades, and so on, all the way through, right till they reached partnership. But that's sort of an apogee, right? You hit partnership in a senior law firm, it's like you're at the top of your profession. Well, then what? Well, so then they looked around and they thought, here I am with all these like hyper-competitive men, perfectly willing to work 80 hours a week, nonstop, to stay at the top. What the hell are they doing?
What me I would say is that one should try and balance things up, because now in our society, women now do most of the things in the family, in a marriage, me I would say some men have ego, serious ego. There are some jobs that they don't want to do. They want a job that when people hear about it or when people see them, they can use it to, to show off, to let people know that they are doing fine. But women, because of their children and the rest, they are eager to do all kinds of jobs. And one thing about ladies is that we always have this in our mind, especially the educated ladies. They believe that career is the first thing you should think of, because you don't want to marry that man and you depend entirely on that man, because it will cause division, it will cause quarrel, it will cause, it will cause fights in the marriage, it will cause conflict in the marriage. So most ladies after school, they want to have a job, they want to be a career woman, they want to, the kind of work men do, they want to do it. You see that they will go to work from morning to night, to the sense that when they marry, it affects their marriage, because now they are used to being a career woman. So when they now marry the man, in which the man thought she will be able to adjust, but there's no way she can adjust again, because it's already part of her life. Even though she gives birth, it will be hard for her. That's why some of these career women, they always have agreements with their husband that, oh, when we marry, we have to stay for 2-3 years before we start having kids, because they have this mindset that society always let go of pregnant women, and by the time they give you leave 3 months, 4 months, they have to get somebody that will replace you now. After when you give birth to, before you can start to work, go back to your company, your place of work, you have to nurture your child for like maybe 3-4 months, at least three months, then before you can go back to your work and hire a nanny. And before then, they can't wait for you, because they gave you leave that you should go and give birth and everything. Indirectly, they are sending you off. And when you give birth to, in total, that's 6 months. No company will wait for a woman or a lady for 6 whole months. That is the reason why it's better for a woman to have a job of her own, like be a CEO. Like, it's very hard for you to actually work for a company. It's the hardest thing ever, because some companies, they have this thing for women, especially young ladies that are just, and they all want young ladies. They want to employ someone that is young. Nobody wants to employ 40s, 50s, especially 50s. Nobody want to employ a woman like that, unless if you have connection. So I don't really blame women that everything about them is career, because they believe that that's the time that's the period they have to work and do something for themselves, for their life. You get? And like you said, it says people in their 20s, they focus on baby, forgetting that they need to do something for themselves, try to hustle, try to live their life. So instantly, some ladies marry in their 20s. Then after you marry, the next thing is to start giving birth. When you start giving birth, most of your dreams are kind of shattered, because there are a lot of dreams you have, but because babies are not coming in line, there's no way you can go for such dreams, and it's something that is affecting a lot of women. That's why most of these celebrities, they find it difficult to stay at home when they marry, because they already have a big name out there. They already have a lot of jobs they are doing out there. So a child or children should not come and limit them from progressing. That's why some men, later on they divorce their wife, they separate from their wife because of this whole issue of work. Because most ladies, women want to be independent, because we can't just sit down there and be depending on men. And it's like those are the lies. No, society always tell women that focus on career, but at the same time it's a good thing, but overdoing things too is not good. Try and, you know, sit down with your partner, come in agreement with your partner before you enter that marriage. Let your partner know what you are into and stick to it. If you know that your partner, this is what she wants, and later you marry, you expect her to change, then the fault is from the man, because she told you what she wants. Yes, I understand that when babies start coming, you have change of mind and everything, but it's her life. Because of she wants to start giving birth or whatever, that doesn't mean that she will not, you know, pursue her dreams. That's what me I'll say about this whole issue. So guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more, like, share and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay blessed. Bye.